everyone, how's it going? I'm Casey Martin from Wine Country Pens and Wine Country Woodworks, and this is going to be Shopisode number 6. I've made some super cool scales and some super cool blanks and material blocks this last week, and I'm stoked to show you guys those and also some other things I've been working on, so let's get right into it. Alright everyone, so these blocks that I've made, and there's plenty more over here that I'll get into in a second, are some blocks that I've made, some for custom orders and others just to put up on Etsy. So basically everything that you guys are going to see momentarily are available besides these two scales, which is what I want to talk about first. I finally got some more mini pine cones, and these are actually a little smaller than the other mini pine cones I used to have, and I think they are actually cooler in my opinion. The blue and white swirl with these look awesome, and I think these are going to make some really cool knife handles. And then over here, this one I think is going to turn pretty cool to whoever makes something out of this as well. It could be cut into knife scales or pen blanks or something, but it's only interference violet as the resin, and like depending on the way the light is hitting this resin, the different shades of violet like come through, and it's hard to show on camera perfectly. Hopefully you guys can kind of get a idea of it, but it's really neat in person. This guy is stabilized oak burl with this really like Pinot red burgundy resin, I call it. It's really cool stuff. I love that color. And then this is kind of a bigger pen blank that I made. It's about like an inch square, so anybody could make something pretty cool out of that, like a big handle for something. This is some cool, this is some cool stabilized Buckeye burl that I think has some really cool figure in it and some like spalting, because it was not completely rotten, but kind of rotten before I stabilized it, which I think now that it's stabilized and pretty strong makes it even look that much cooler in some spots. I really like this guy. And then here, over here is the stack of blocks I'll get into that I really like. This guy is Amboina burl with like a red and white swirl. Oh, before I move on to the blocks, this is some cholla cactus that could be cut into like some thick knife scales or pen blanks or something. And you can't see all of the cholla cactus on this side, but it's just like this, just a little more underneath it. And that's pretty cool. That was the first time I cast it. I had a buddy who brought me some when he was in Mexico over Christmas break. And this guy is actually glow in the dark. I put on my Instagram, you guys should definitely follow it. It's called Wine Country Woodworks, and I have pictures of this guy glowing in the dark that will be up, and it's super cool. I really like using this glow in the dark powder, and yeah, definitely follow me on Instagram if you guys want to see whenever I'm posting pictures of these blocks. This is another Amboina or Molly burl. It's a little camera shy. It's hard to show it perfectly in person, but it's a pretty nice block, and as you guys can see, it's pretty huge. This one is another Amboina burl I made with black and red resin, and I think this resin, it's a black and red swirl that I did, and it's kind of hard to show on camera, but I think when it's turned or shaved down into a knife handle or something, you'll be able to see it a lot better because it's kind of tough right now when it's thick. And then this is probably my favorite style of blocks to make, the kind of blue tinted, almost see-through, well it is see-through, but like almost crystal clear I should say. And these are the best types of blocks for like spheres or bottle stoppers. So like I said, all of these, if anybody's interested in any of them and fall in love, other than the two scales, they're all up on my Etsy, which will be in the description below. And then this is a guy that was pretty cool because it was like it stabilized oak, but it was spalted. And so what I did when I cast it is I made sure that all of the whole wood was covered in resin, so that all of these like spalted wormholes and things actually have resin in them. Like these holes you guys see are actually completely full of resin, and since it's kind of a translucent purple, it looks really cool in the holes, in my opinion at least. So I've been trying to make more and more of these. I think these blocks are going to be something I'm gonna keep doing regularly. I've done it in the past, but I kind of stopped, and I think I'm definitely gonna make a video on making these style of blocks because I know a lot of people like them just how they are, but I'm sure they also like to see how they're made as well. So definitely look forward to that. And I'll move on to what's also next. So a custom order I got a while back, about a week ago or so, that I've been working on is making these grapevine blocks for a gentleman who makes mezuzah cases. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but they are a religious case that holds religious scripture, I believe, and I think it's Judaic, but I could be wrong on the exact religion. But he does pretty cool work, and he wanted to get 20 of these blocks, and the price we agreed on ended up not being the greatest for me. I was actually not making any money, and if anything, losing money. So him and I ended up agreeing to just cut it short at these 6, but these I think are pretty cool. As you guys can tell, I've been experimenting with colors that I usually don't do too much. Of course, I've done the green and the purple, but these kind of like russet and gold and this kind of teal and this kind of like light red, kind of almost pinkish color. They've been pretty fun to mess around with, so let me know what you guys think about those, and I could try maybe making some blocks or something. But I wanted to share that because I think these will be pretty cool. Basically the way he does it is he flattens them out, so basically this will become square, and then he'll cut off the top as the lid and hollow out the whole inside of it, and then like basically a little roll like of paper. I'm blanking on the word right now, but basically you know, a little piece of paper will be rolled up inside of that, and it's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I wanted to share that real quick. I had to mention it since I was blanking on the word. The word I was thinking of was a scroll. There would basically be little scrolls of, you know, religious paper that will be in here that have like Bible verses and stuff like that. It was on the tip of my tongue for so long, so I had to mention it. One of the other things I worked on recently this last week was making a new mold. This guy is pretty big. I forget the exact dimensions, but basically what this was originally for was for making those as solid colors, and then he changed his mind and wanted individual colors, so I used a different mold for that. But this was going to be able to make 4 of them at once, and then I'd of course cut them lengthwise and stuff. But I have some ideas in mind for this, for making, I don't know, maybe a big box or something that I could turn, or I'm not sure. Definitely leave some comments down below of what you guys think I should cast in this and make a video of course casting, but also turning or creating whatever I make with it, because this guy is clearly a honker, and and I've got the Burl, as you guys can see from the last Shopisode, so I definitely got some cool stuff to use with it. So let me know some good ideas, guys. I'd appreciate it. And speaking of the Burl, I recently stabilized a lot of these pieces that I got, that I talked about in the last Shopisode, which you guys can check out if you want to see all that Burl I got. But I'm really stoked to use these guys. I'm definitely going to be making some more of those kind of blocks that are, I can walk over here really quickly and show you guys, but more of these type of blocks. Because what I love about these guys is they're so versatile. You know, people can cut this into 5 pen blanks if they want, cut it into 2 or 3 knife scales if they want. There's a lot of things people can do with that style, which I really like. And of course you can do almost just as much with those blocks, but I think since I have so much of the Burl that's about this thickness, it's gonna provide a lot of really cool opportunities. I won't show you guys every single piece, but I mean, this stuff is really premium, and the fact that it's stabilized now when it gets polished up and combined with resin, this stuff is just beautiful. I mean, it's already beautiful as is, and adding in the stabilization just puts the cherry on top. One of the last things I wanted to share with you guys were these pieces of, I think it's cherry burl that I stabilized, I'm not sure, but these things are pretty chunky and I'm not sure what to do with them. If anybody's interested, definitely leave some suggestions, but I was thinking of just truing them up more square on the bandsaw and table saw and you know, selling them as knife scales or something if anybody's interested in them. And these guys are definitely going to be knife scales. They are Amboina burl, and it's a little camera shy to show you guys on this with the stabilization crystals still on there. But these are pretty cool pieces of wood. This one's a little less camera shy, you can kind of see it, but it's hard to show without it being a little sanded and polished. But let me know if anybody's interested in these. I wanted to share them because when I started to stabilize them, I knew that they were gonna be pretty cool when they turned out. And the last thing I wanted to share, just because I thought it was getting kind of ridiculous, is my collection of empty Alumilite jugs. These two right here are the ones I'm currently using, and over there in the corner of the shop I've got some new ones that are unopened, but I'm not sure. You know, of course I'm just gonna either recycle these, or the reason why I was showing you guys is because one, of course it's kind of funny, but two, because there might be some like kind of cool project I could do with them. I'm not sure what, you know, maybe try to like melt them down if they're HDPE or what, maybe like do something with all the caps. But definitely let me know if you guys could think of any really cool ideas, because I'm definitely game for them before I just chuck them in the recycling bin. So I wanted to share that. Oh, and before I forgot, the last thing I did want to mention was I made some more colored pencil pen blanks. I am going to consistently have these up for stock on my Etsy shop as well as winecountrywoodworks.com. And I've realized I'm actually the only person right now selling these colored pencil pen blanks. And if you guys haven't seen the video of me making the pen blanks and also more importantly turning a pen from them, go check that out. I'll put an eye in the top right of the screen right now. But they're really great in my opinion, and I highly recommend you at least getting one to try out, because it's a really fun experience and, you know, something that is worth checking out in my opinion. So I wanted to share those. These of course will need to be cut up, but I just think they look so cool even when they're not polished or anything. It's amazing to me, even after all this time, how crystal clear Alumilite can be just out of the mold. It's pretty impressive. So that's about it, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the Shopisode. I always feel like I've had a super busy week and want to make the Shopisode with you guys to share it. And then as soon as I start filming, I feel like, crap, maybe I didn't do as much as I felt like, because it's always hard to share after the fact. And that's one thing I'm going to try to change for the future. I'm going to try to start filming the little activities that I'm doing in the shop throughout the week and include that in the Shopisode rather than me just going over what I did. And let me know if you guys think that would be a good idea, because, you know, for example, if I'm casting some blocks like that, I can have a little short segment, you know, a minute or so doing that. If I'm stabilizing some cool wood, I could show that process and just kind of have a more fluid kind of in the moment vlog, if you will, that I think would be a little better of a in the shop with me kind of experience. So let me know if you guys think that would be a good idea. So like the video if you guys liked it, subscribe to the channel of course if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.